Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sports Line at Duke's Rib House and Grill, 1901 Cochrane Road, Pittsburgh, PA, 15220. It's actually in Mount Lebanon, and we're right at the bottom of Green Tree Hill. It's not that hard to find. We may bring up a guest, the best bartender in Pittsburgh. That was just a little interruption there to show you there are some people that come out on this frigid, snowy night in Pittsburgh. The roads actually weren't bad from Bethel Park to here, so I made it safely. Smoking Jim made it from, what's that country you're
God's country.
For all of you that have never watched the show and it's your first time, he means Monroeville. And thanks to Bethel Park TV for letting us out, and Dave Cable loaded me up with all the equipment. Come out here and we're doing this show, and we're on Verizon 32 in the whole area, greater Pittsburgh area, city, suburbs, from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and everywhere in between. We have a steady block of shows, as I was telling one of our guests who's coming on, every Tuesday through Saturday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We're on then. And Smokin' Jim, our shows have been on at 11 o'clock at night, 10 in the morning too, so stay tuned for some of those shows too. Same shows. This show will be up as early as Wednesday, hopefully, if we get it back safely. We're on Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park, and you can see, thank you, Devin, finally gave me some guidance, had me looking at the camera where he's at. That was just the snow in my eyes. YouTube, 270 plus shows. If you need to and you're on Facebook, request something and I'll give you a link to all of them there, and you can check every one of them out. We're going to do our show coming up right now. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I got Smokin' Jim Frazier with me. We got Devin Shea on camera. He's extraordinaire on that. It only took him an hour to get this set up. We had Zach from Robert Morris Studios coming out here, his first time with Pittsburgh Sports Line. So we appreciate you coming out, Zach. Thanks for trying to make me look good and point to the right camera this time. Which one am I looking at? Thank you. Smokin' Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
I got a new supply.
You got to see Levine.
Oh, thank you.
I like to start off each and every show by thanking Kelly and the owner Reddy for having us here once again. Please take care of your bartenders and waitresses. Joey waved to all your fans.
She didn't hear you.
And if you haven't done so already, do yourself a favor, because 2 weeks ago I had the best slab of ribs I ever had in my life. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers need to draft a cornerback in this upcoming draft. The only problem is my number one rated cornerback is Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters is 6 foot, 190 pounds, runs a 40 and 4.3. But the only problem with him is he got kicked off the University of Washington's football team for choking his coach twice. History will prove that the Pittsburgh Steelers will screw up this draft. In 1983, the Pittsburgh Steelers needed a quarterback, but draft Gabe Rivera instead of Dan Marino. 1990, the Pittsburgh Steelers needed a running back, but drafted Eric Green instead of Emmitt Smith. In 1996, the Pittsburgh Steelers needed a linebacker, but drafted Jermaine Stevens instead of Ray Lewis. The Pittsburgh Steelers used to draft Hall of Fame defensive players like Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Mean Joe Green, Mel Blount, and Rod Woodson. Now they draft a bunch of bums like Jarvis Too Slow Jones and sign Cam the Scam Thomas. Pittsburgh, don't get bitter, get better. If you want to win a championship, why don't you go back to basics and take a page from Chuck Noll's playbook and draft the best player available.
Thanks, Smokin' Jim. What's on my mind is I just was handed a couple things about Duke's Rib House and Grill. You might want to listen to this, Smokin' Jim, and all of our fans out there. Again, we're at Duke's Rib House and Grill, 1901 Cochrane Road, Pittsburgh, PA 15220. On January 27th. Well, I don't know if this show will be up, so I'll go do this, but we got Paint Your Glass, sponsored by Blue Moon, and that's tomorrow night, which the show won't be broadcast yet. There's a miracle it could be. We'll see how the studio is. That's the first one. Let me just check the dates on this stuff here. I was just handed this. So February 1st, Super Bowl party. All of you know what's going on then. Free buffet, drink specials, and giveaways all through the day, starting at 4:30. So check that out. Come to Duke's Rib House and Grill for their Super Bowl party. Sounds like a great deal. Smoking Jim, I think you'd agree the food's pretty good here.
Oh, that's the best.
How do you like the wings? Almost as good as that slab of ribs you have every 2 weeks. All right, that's that announcement. Now I got another announcement. This is official. So the new owners of Duke Rib House and Grill are celebrating their 1-year anniversary March 6th through the 13th. So it's not just one day, it's a whole week. They're going to come celebrate with them, and we'll be here too. Specials all week long. I can't even imagine what they're going to do. We better come up when it's buy one slab of ribs and get another one. Then I can eat one. All right, we got a couple other things I wanted to put out there. We have our pizza sponsor. I don't know, Zach, I've heard you're pretty good. Can you get a close-up on this? You don't have to have my face in it unless you want to, but I prefer not to. You good? This is Olive Oil's Pizzeria at the Hillcrest Shopping Center. They supply our volunteers every Tuesday night a extra large pizza, because Smoking Jim and I got to have a slice or two. And Devin waits till the end, so I don't know what's left. But thank you for sponsoring us. And make sure you give them a call. It's 412-831-1900. And they're supposed to have some other specials. So check it out. They've been around for about 7-8 months, and the pizza's fantastic, really good. We just got one of our sponsors, one of our supporters here. He's way back in the crowd here, Mario Tempest. He said he had their wings, and they were great. Thank you. And then, you know, I always got these promotions. Since I'm hungry, I got to bring up Atria's PNC Park will be there next week, 7:30 to 8:30. If you can't find PNC Park, you won't be able to find us. It's 103 Federal Street. They named a burger after me, the Talking Machine Big Mouth Burger. Smoking Jim, I've never seen him eat anything, not even ketchup on a burger. I got bacon, I got mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, jalapenos.
Good. It's good.
You got pepper jack cheese, marinara sauce, and even a little bit of guacamole for
Whatever
something
that
healthy. And my man cleans a plate. If he can do it, any of you except for Devin and Zach Brenner can do it. Well, what's on my mind is I've watched basketball with my dad refereeing and everything over the years. And I never heard of the NCAA Division I with a coach winning 1,000 games. So Coach K, to be able to do that, I even watched the game. And to show you what kind of coach he is, his team was down. You talk about I was a Bulldog with our Rookie of the Year volunteer Ian Bell last week at Atria's. Coach K was sitting there and he kept telling them to play their fundamentals and play their game. They were losing at St. John's at the halftime when they were trying to win this 1,000 game. He didn't care about it. He was telling people if he won his 1,000th game, it would be their 17th win of the season. That's what he cares about.
Wow.
Well, they did win it, and he did talk about it. To me, it's fantastic to see something traditional like that in a sport where it's so competitive. You know, and he's being called one of the greatest coaches ever. So think about that, to put all those years in. He even gave credit to Bobby Knight, who was his mentor. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. And that ties in with Dick LeBeau. He's friends with that. So now that Dick LeBeau's out of sports, those buddies will be throwing down a couple beers, talking about basketball, I'm sure. And that's what's on my mind. Chris, tell everybody, your fans and your growing fans, who you are.
My name is Chris Riskus. I am a professional boxing referee in the Pittsburgh area in West Virginia. Been around the sport for years, coached, boxed professionally as well as amateur. I'm a football coach at one point for youth football in South Park. I did that for 6 years for 10 and 11-year-olds. And just love sports all around.
And that's why I'm glad that you reached out to me on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
He goes, how are you guys doing? What's going on? I couldn't start to tell him, so I said, why don't you come to our show? This guy gets the award for a first-time guest to come out on the worst night. We got Snowmageddon here, and he come out. So not only is he a coach, been a boxer, been in movies, I can't even go through the plethora of stuff that he's been involved with, but we will touch on it. And I'm waiving my first question that I ask after your name. Like, what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football.
Okay, well, then we'll go right with that.
Football and then boxing. But,
okay, we'll touch boxing in a minute because
Okay.
we got some time. Hold it. Zach Brenner's going to be a little late. You got an extra 10 minutes to talk.
Beautiful.
So with football, we'll focus on that right now.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite team?
Steelers.
All right, so you bleed black and gold.
Yeah, Steelers, Pitt Panthers. I agree with everything Smoke and Jim said. They need to get himself a nice draft pick this year.
Well, I think I've been
I
saying,
agree.
you haven't heard us on air, but I've been saying the Steelers won't use a word. It's like a swear word to them. It's called rebuilding. And they've been rebuilding for the last 3 years. And their drafts have shown that they haven't had the quality of picks thanks to Jim's insights. But how about good old common sense? You know, that's what it is. And there's other players out there, they weren't ready. And we need that now. I don't know if one draft can cure all of our problems, but parity in the NFL does help. You can look. We were 11-5 with a bad schedule. Next year we're going to have a tough schedule.
I think the team, the last couple of years, we're looking at linemen. I mean, not last year. Last year,
The year before.
The year before and the year before that. And I think they've solidified that as an offensive line. Their defensive secondary definitely need help.
Right.
And I was a little upset what happened with LeGarrette Blount this year, to be honest with you, because they should have platooned the guys, and we would have never had the situation we had. You know,
Right.
They were both good ball players.
Your insights are spot on with what we've been talking about.
Oh,
For
really?
the simple fact, it's common sense. You've played the sport, you've been around the sport, you've coached the sport. Think about it. If you only have one horse,
That's right.
how do you win every race?
can't.
It's hard.
You can't.
And so what if he's a cancer in the locker room? Let him play a little, and that cures that cancer.
Yes, sir. Most
Right?
certainly. Most certainly.
I mean, you delve into it. Think about it. If you
And-
get a player who wants to be the best and a starter, and you sit him on the bench,
He was on my fantasy team all year. I kept him. I kept him until till they got rid of him.
wow, you should
And
have
then,
kept him at the end.
yeah, I know. I should have.
You'd have maybe finished a little higher.
Yeah, but
How'd you
no,
do in the fantasy football?
Didn't do well.
Okay,
Didn't
we
do
won't
well.
talk about. Let's
All
talk
right.
positive stuff.
All right, all
It's a
right.
snowy night in the Berg. I don't know if it's going to stop yet or what, but we'll make it. Okay, we covered some football.
Boxing would be my next thing.
Let's go right into boxing because
right.
we're going to even get into movies and everything else.
We got time, right?
Oh, we got you another 5 minutes. Nobody else is coming in. You're getting time. Nobody's gotten this much time except for one guy who's a legend, Jim O'Brien, the author. I gave him a whole hour of the
Nice.
show because he's like Mark Twain. When he starts talking,
He keeps going.
yeah, he's the Energizer Bunny. Now, you're going to get close to that.
Okay.
All right, and no pressure here for
no
a first-time
pressure.
guest.
All right,
I
sounds
know
good.
you don't fold under pressure.
No,
I've
sir.
seen you get hit. I've seen you grab people. I've seen you be a judge. I've seen everything.
Ref, judge, coach, you name it.
Right.
Box, yeah. My whole deal with Pittsburgh boxing is really escalated in this last 2 years with a guy named Sammy Vasquez, a guy named Monty Meza Clay, Rod Salka. You know, these guys have made Showtime, ESPN, title fights, and Monty Mesa Clay is the veteran of the game.
Sure.
And these other guys are up and coming.
And they're on national TV.
All the time.
We've had Sammy and Rod have been on our show numerous times.
And they're great guys, too. Let's top it off, too. They're awesome people. And Sammy's got a big fight on February 20th down at Console Energy. He is, 17-0, I believe,
yes.
now. And he's fighting a kid 16-2-1. He's from Ghana. And he's living now in Brooklyn, New York.
Wow.
So and everybody Sammy fights has a great record.
Yeah.
You know, he's not fighting sleps, guys, that you know what I mean? He's a lot of
It's
guys.
not just a bum of the month.
Right. A lot of guys pad their record trying to get these knockouts and everything, but Sammy's not that guy. He's actually coming out. He's putting his best foot forward. He's fighting guys that are solid, and he's beating them.
He's in great shape, Chris.
He is.
When you see the shape he is, he's as hard as the table here.
Hey, he did 2 tours in Iraq.
Right.
He is a family man.
Right.
You couldn't root for a better guy.
He has great corner men.
Yes, sir. Bob Healy, his gentleman
Mike
McSorley, his gentleman from Colorado too, from the service he's with him.
I forget his name. Yeah.
But he's a real good guy. They know their stuff, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Take them far.
And he's done well. He's even knocked these guys out.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
early sometimes too.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
But the kid he's fighting is Emmanuel Larte is his name. And he just fought Stevie Forbes. He beat Stevie Forbes to a decision.
I wonder if that's Smoking Jim's man is a trainer from Ghana. Who's your man from Ghana there?
You got a guy from Ghana.
He does. In the middle, we announce boxing once in a while.
We love West Africa.
He does. I don't even know where it's at. And I know geography. He brings a guy up to me. He goes, "Hey, Talking Machine, I want you to meet this guy. He's from Ghana." And I'm like, "Jim, we got the fight here." Yeah. He goes, "You got to meet him." So I met him. Then I met him again. Then I don't know what happened to him.
He wouldn't go away.
He would go away. I'm like you're not going anywhere.
Did he have him on the show? Did you have him on the show?
No. We didn't get the translation down. I left at the Smoking Jim, and I don't know what happened. We tried to follow up. It's sort of simple plan. Do you want to be on our show this day or the next day or whenever? You figured it out.
Yeah. Just asked you on Facebook, and you said be here Monday night. There I am.
Yeah. See that?
There I am.
That doesn't
Not
get
so
any
hard.
simpler. No. Now, we got Golden Gloves coming up.
Yeah, Jimmy Savetic runs the Golden Gloves, and he does a great job. He's been doing it. Let's see here. I've been in the game
Over
46.
30?
I've been in the game 46 years in boxing.
Would you start with 3 years old?
6. Yeah, 6 years old I started.
Wow, that's amazing.
But Jimmy's been involved probably about 39 years, and he's done a great job. He has fights out IUP, Pittsburgh, Monroeville. They're all over
Maybe
the place.
even up in Du Bois too.
Southside Pittsburgh. Yeah, Du Bois also. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they have a nice place.
He
up
does
there.
a good job, and there's a lot of young kids up and coming out of Pittsburgh, and that's where Sammy did his thing. Rod Salka, Monty Mesa Clay, all these guys did their thing for Quan Kimbrough. There are some awesome.
Rayco War Saunders.
Rayco Saunders. That's right. He's been on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on a couple times.
Yeah, good guy.
Definitely.
We were in the movie together, Rayco.
You know what? Let's quit playing
We're going
around
into
about
this.
the movie.
I want to talk about the movie.
Well, I don't want to
I'm trying
talk
to give me
about
some
it.
plugs here. Come on,
Wait,
man.
I don't want to talk about it because Smoking Jim promised me. He goes,
What happened?
Listen to this.
What happened? Tell me the story.
I was in that white collar brawler.
Yeah, it was me and you.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
because I got 32 seconds of fame after 22 hours being in a suit and losing 25 pounds where I couldn't drink water and even, I know it's a family show, but sometimes you go to the bathroom. I could not. I was so dehydrated. And they said, "You're doing a great job." I got 32 seconds. So then he goes to me, Jimmy Savetic and I, meaning him, we're all going to be in the Southpaw. And I go, I don't think so. He goes, Talking Machine, it's guaranteed. He goes in the hospital. I have no number, no contact information. He goes, they were going to get a hold of me. I go, there's no way. So he got out. I called. It was too late.
Was it the same day that you guys were supposed to be in the show?
No.
He had an accident?
No, this was before.
Okay.
This was beforehand. You know how he had to sign paperwork and stuff.
All right.
He's not a paperwork guy.
Okay.
We don't even know his government name, and he'll tell you that story later. It's not Smoking
from
Jim
Ghana?
Frazier. He's gonna be Ghana if we don't find out. So with no further ado, we heard it was a great movie.
Yes.
Dozens of our friends, other people from outside of here that I know, they've said, we were in it. We had one guest, she does makeup for it, Bethany Monacalvo. She goes, hey, buddy, why didn't you just call me? She's there, I got all these agencies, they would have loved to have you in there. I said, okay, next time we'll take care of that. So here's the man that was in there. He even got a talking role.
Yeah, I got a speaking
Wait till you
role.
hear
Yeah,
this.
I had a speaking role with Jake Gyllenhaal and also with Rayco Saunders, and I was refereeing, and
What a surprise.
it was crazy.
Just tell us a little bit of the craziness
Well,
there.
it got a little heated between Rayco and Jake, and
Because
I had-
they were
I had a-
actually fighting.
Yeah,
Just
they were
explain.
going
They
at
were
it, yeah.
fighting, so
Yeah.
when he's saying going at it, it's not like what
And-
you guys are arguing with somebody at home. They're punching each other.
And Rayco looked good, Jake looked good. I mean, they were going. I mean,
Toe to toe.
toe to toe. The bell rang and time, and they kept punching, man. They kept going at it. So
Right.
I had to be the referee there, jump in, do my thing, and separate them.
Were they
which I
actually,
did.
were they upset at each other, or
Jake
it was just the,
yeah. Jake was upset. Yeah, he wanted to. He kept punching.
he wanted to knock Rayco out?
Yeah, he wanted to take him out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, got heated. Yeah.
Rayco
So,
doesn't take kindly
no,
to that
no.
stuff, just normally,
No,
let
so-
alone in a movie.
But it got heated between the two of them, and then it got heated between me and Jake. And
Hold on, aren't you the referee?
yeah.
How can
yeah.
that even happen?
Well, I don't know.
You
That's
gotta
a good-
explain
good
this one.
question.
Explain this one.
I think you need to see the movie.
I can't wait. July 31st.
Rarely does
Comes
the
out July 31st. That's right.
rarely does the talking machine
You
get
gotta
stumped.
come on. You gotta go see it. I can't tell you the whole story.
It's not a complex story.
It-
Come on now.
It's a very, very, very crucial moment in the movie.
Well,
So
here's a question I think all your fans will want to know.
And me.
How good did the ring car girls look?
yeah, they were very nice. They were very nice, of course.
Were they local?
Some of them were. They brought some models.
See, because
in
we
too,
have
I
some.
think. Yeah.
As Smoking Jim knows, with his best friends and his entourage that's all over the state, some of them were in it. So he asked these loaded
Oh, okay.
questions.
Yeah. They were very talented.
He's just playing dumb.
They were very talented.
That's an act. He's an actor.
And he missed his calling because he had a car accident, man.
Yes, he did. This isn't picking on Smoking Jim.
No.
But he likes any type of publicity. Notoriety and publicity are the same thing to him.
Okay.
So that's how he rolls. No
No,
problem.
but you guys missed out on a good opportunity. I want to tell you, though.
Thank you. You're not rubbing it
But
in.
you know what? It's not over, right? They're doing more movies here. so
There's
you never
12
know.
this
I know,
year.
I
I
know.
just was in concussion.
I was supposed to be.
See? I knew I
I
got
had,
it.
I had a
Will
cast-
Smith called me up. I didn't get
Will
to
did.
talk to him.
Yeah, Will.
But I didn't get
Yeah.
to talk to him. I was 3 rows away from him.
Yeah.
When he played the doctor that discovered CTE and, concussions.
Yeah, I had a birthday party for myself that I couldn't get out of it. How about
Wow.
that? I wanted to go, man. I wanted to go.
It was nice. The food was good. And taking 35 takes of something, at least I was sitting down. I wasn't getting hit like certain people were.
Yeah.
Not that that happened to you at all.
No.
I just wonder what's going to be in the movie.
Well,
here's what
I-
I'm
you know-
interested in. With Rayco and Jake going at it,
it's
how
heavy.
much do you think they'll put in there? You don't have any insights
I
on
have
that.
no insight on it. No, I really don't. I hope. I think Rayco will get a lot of tape, a lot of
Yeah.
film time. Myself, I think towards the end of the bout, I think I will be.
Well, you got white brawler collar.
White collar
time.
brawler.
White brawler collar.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it was. It was, but I keep thinking 32 seconds of fame. Jimmy Savetic said, "I'll take care of you again, talking machine." I said, "I worry whenever that man tells me he's taking care of me." And you know what I mean. This is off-air conversation. We can't bring it up. Well, we did, but we're not getting exclusives on that. Because I have friends that have known him for years, for over 40 years when he was working and everything else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He
So they know
he
a lot
also, I don't know if you've heard about Jimmy. He does the poetry reading. Have you done that? Or have you
He's
been in?
actually been on our show. He's talked poetry.
I tell you what, it's amazing. I went to the poetry reading, and the things that he experienced as a detective, he expressed that. The couple judges were local judges. They were there. They were detectives at the time. They expressed their concerns and what had transpired in their
He's
careers.
a very intelligent
I
man
tell you
who
what,
downplays
man,
that.
You go through that and you hear what they went through on duty. It's like, wow, you have a lot more respect for them as officers. You know, it's like, wow. You know, how do you go through a day like that and go home to your family and just think everything's
Well,
okay?
I know guys in the police force that were undercover at times, and told me some stories that it still makes your hair stand up on edge.
Right.
And it's hard to believe a lot of them live like that, and then go home to families.
Right,
It
right.
really is. So I understand what you're saying. And Jimmy's rarely talked about that, to us, because he keeps directing us on what we're supposed to do on the show.
Right.
So that's how he is. Like, he'll be on the show and he'll go, "We on?" And then he wants to keep talking about what he's doing. So
Well, I don't know how many shows he has this year. Normally it's like 10 to 15 shows.
is it?
Yeah,
We try to get
boxing.
the local
Yeah.
ones traveling.
I hope so. Be good.
Yeah, we like doing it, and there's a lot of great.
You guys were
publicity.
down there when the Irish team came in, right?
Smoking Jim was one of the announcers, and I'm his best buddy and a brother.
Oh, you were with Bill Hillgrove, right? Was it?
No.
With Bill Phillips.
Bill Phillips,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hillgrove
Yeah.
was the announcer,
That's right.
ring announcer.
He said, "Al, you didn't make the cut." I don't understand how 2014 was my year. He told me when the year started, because he goes, "Yeah, I got you into all this," and then I was counting it up because we're in 15 now. I got to make my own breaks, is what I'm saying.
you gotta do-
You know, so I just want to be your friend. That's why I called you on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you want me to call you next time I'm
Yeah,
with you? Okay,
yeah,
I
if
got
you would.
I got it.
Let me, in case
Give me a
I
card.
haven't give you a card.
Give me a card.
I don't know, Zach. Can you get that? That's the official Pittsburgh Sportsline card.
There you go.
If you want to network, you should always have cards. Smoking Jim. Oh, you got a bunch of them. Yeah, and
Wait,
that's my
thanks.
personal email
All
and
right.
my cell phone. You can
Good
call.
deal.
You can call 24/7. I'll
Okay.
answer for you.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
What else would you like to bring up? Because we did talk. You were in charge of South Park Boxing Club.
South Park Boxing Club, yeah, for about 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, it was 10 years I ran it. And I had a bunch of young kids I took all over the country, boxing in different tournaments. And it was a big tool because South Park, the county gave us the facility, the building.
Right.
And I fixed it up and I painted it. I put ring in there. I put bags.
So you actually put
And
sweat
I-
equity in it.
Yeah, my own funding, my own doing, and I think a lot of the gyms around the Pittsburgh area do the same thing for these kids.
They do.
And I took these kids on my own dime, and as with their parents or whatever,
Sure.
all travel together. But you see these kids nowadays that were kids then. They're got their own businesses.
Wow.
They're attorneys. They're doing their own thing, and they come back and they thank me. You know what I mean? Or I'll
Well,
see them out and about. And
I got to interrupt you a second, but we talk about sports heroes, and a lot of these guys making millions of dollars. Sure, they have great talent, but I always say the heroes are like Chris right here. And I talk about this
I don't
not
see
just
that.
that you're here.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
here's
see
why
that.
I say it. You're a modest man, but you take your time, and you're out there in the community, and that's what people. A lot of them don't even have parents. Some of them have one parent. Some of them have nobody that cares about them. You give them that tough love in a gym,
Right.
and that discipline carries them throughout their whole life. I had friends of mine that boxed Golden Gloves and everything else. So that's where I'm saying it, not just because you're a first-time guest and I want you to come back another time.
It's because you have nobody else here.
Hold it, I found one guy. I got one man.
I was sitting in the back, you'd having a couple drinks, and you pulled me in here, man. Okay, all right.
All right. Yeah, but I make quite an impression.
Yeah,
You're on TV now.
No,
No, but you are. I know you were just deflecting all that,
Yeah.
but that's what's true.
yeah. Well, my father did the same thing. He was a football coach. He coached boxing. We had a gym at Southside Market House.
Yeah.
Where they used to have fights years ago. Okay, that was my first fight.
Back
there.
in the day, they
in
call it.
1969, I had my first fight there. And
What weight class?
I was in 85 pounds, something like that. Yeah, but
How old were you?
6.
6 years old.
Yeah, 6 years old. And
I just wanted to emphasize that
but-
because that's amazing.
yeah, but my dad, like even people today, come up to me that box with me, and like Bob Healy, for
Yeah.
instance, he fought for
Muscles.
Brookline. Yeah, muscles. He fought for Brookline, and he respected my dad for what he did. He took him around to different shows. So
Sure.
I mean,
You're like passing
it's-
it on.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. I don't have any. I have a daughter who's not involved in boxing. She's not involved in football.
Yeah.
People will say, why are you involved? You don't have any boys in the game.
Right.
Well, my dad did this. My dad did, and helped these kids find their way. You know what I mean? If they're not on the field or in a gym, where are they? You know what I mean? They're sometimes
That's a great,
you don't know where they're
great
at.
point. And that's part of it, and that's why I say that's the part of the community. You're part of that community. You're ingrained in it, like all these other guys that do that.
The funny part is I had an hour drive afterwards to Robinson. I lived in Robinson.
Get on.
Yeah.
That's
I did
that's
it
even more impressive.
South Point to South Park to Robinson. So for football and boxing, actually. Yeah. So
we're at in football. Where'd you do?
South Park.
South Park also.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine who was the president, Ed Lance, and he needed help because a lot of the parents that were coaching, their kids were quarterback, linebacker, and they weren't the most skilled
What
players.
age kids?
10, 11-year-olds.
Okay.
10, 11-year-olds. So he goes, Chris, I'm having a problem. Can you come out and help? I'm like, sure. Yeah. So I come out.
You're the go-to guy.
We went to the playoffs the first 3 years. We did good. We had like 15 kids. We were playing West State. It had 33. North Allegheny had 35. We were competing with them. But
hey, I have a friend of mine that's coached out there for years in football. South Park.
Who's that?
Chuck Villa. I don't know if you know him.
For the high school?
No, he did for the younger kids, like 8th grade, 7th grade, and then he also did high school.
Okay, yeah, he was a year or two up above me.
Okay, so
I'm not familiar with him.
You gave him the good kids that he helped develop into champions, because he had some winning teams after that, as you know.
Yeah.
South Park's had a pretty good run.
Yeah, they won the states, I think, a couple of years ago, but it's been a while.
Back. Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully they turn around with some.
See what we're finding out. Yeah. I just thought you were a referee, boxer.
Well, I mean, one of my
judge.
I don't even call it claim to fame is I beat Michael Moore twice. Fought Michael Moore, fought Meldrick Taylor, Pernell Whitaker. Went to London on the United States team. Traveled for the U.S. team. Yeah, that was in '84.
You even beat
awesome.
Skip Whitfield.
Yeah, Skip Whitfield. Yeah, I actually dropped him. Here's a story for you, right?
Yeah, give us. We're about stories.
You know where Heaven was? Remember Heaven downtown?
I do remember.
They had
Heaven.
a club there, right? So we go down there, and my dad couldn't make it that night. So there's another guy, Bill Zaletta, who's going to help out. He's been helping at the gym.
Sure.
So my brother, older brother Carl, myself, another guy named Jude Crothers was there. Right? We're about 10 pounds within each other.
Yeah.
We'll fight anybody.
You didn't mind.
My dad says, you can fight anybody but Skip Whitfield. Because he just fought Joe Frazier's son at Sugar Ray Leonard Gold Gloves.
Frazier.
Yeah, and so he didn't want me fighting him. And he was a weight class above me. So they said, who you got? And Bill says, we'll fight him. So I get in the ring. I said, Bill.
Good thing
I said,
your
I
dad
said, Bill,
wasn't
my dad said, no. He goes, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be okay. I'm like, okay. I dropped him in the second round. I won. And so...
There you go.
It's a successful story. So
here's what I want to know. Forget about that. That's great. Yeah. What did you say to your dad when you got home?
Who did you fight?
Okay.
I said, Skip. I thought I told you not to fight him. He said, well, I said, Bill said it was okay, so I fought him.
How old were you at the time?
I was 16, I think. I think he was 17, I believe.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That is awesome.
I mean, we fought everybody and anybody. We traveled around. We went to Michigan. We went to Virginia. You can't stay in one place and fight. You have to fight people that are better.
Sure.
Just like football, just like baseball, anything you do, basketball, you got to play somebody better so you can excel. You can't go in and thinking you're going to win every game because you learn more when you lose. When you win, you say, guess what? I did everything right. I don't have to do anything.
Well,
but when you lose, you say, I need to work on some stuff.
Right.
So that makes you a better fighter. You're a better athlete altogether.
You must have stole a page out of my book or something, because I tell people I've learned a lot more from losing and getting beat, you come back. Although I differ a little bit. I actually believe I'm going to win every time.
That's good.
But I'm a realist. I know I'm not going to. But if I dream that I'm going to do all that and win each time, if I fail, I'm actually learning what I needed to do.
Well, here's the secret. Don't ever get comfortable with losing.
No.
You understand?
Who wants to lose?
That's the thing. Don't get comfortable with it, because that's a spiral. You're going downhill at that point,
Well, sometimes when you're in team sports, like you're in individual sports, it's a lot different. But I was a pitcher on a baseball team going way back when. Yeah. And I had a no-hitter once, and I was losing the game 5-3.
Oh, goodness.
Can you believe it? Yeah, because it seemed anything that went past the infield was almost a home run or a double or triple. So luckily they got a hit in the last inning somehow. And back then they used to put your name, and you had a no-hitter.
You have a loss with a no-hitter? Oh, my goodness, right?
Yeah. So I didn't want that to hit the paper, because I had a couple no-hitters. And it's always nice when you shut them out.
For sure.
And have 12, 13 strikeouts. But that's what happened. So I learned at such a young age that it doesn't matter. You just try the best you can when you're doing it.
Right. Yes.
And that's why we started this show. And we've had 3 years in. We finally got you on air. You just saw us thinking that we were two knuckleheads
I thought
talking.
you were avoiding me, man. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was shelter left eye,
You're in now.
All right.
You're in. Even if you never get me an acting gig, it's okay. You can come back and tell us another edition of this.
I got it, man.
You got the card.
I got it.
Chris.
I'm going to call
Riskus.
Smoking Jim, and I'll have him get a hold of you.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm gullible. Get out of here. Tell them your name. I forget it.
Easily forgotten. Mario Tempest. I represent Mona V and Mint, MYNT products, all natural.
Very cold.
Yes, it is very cold.
Right out of the trunk.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for coming out. You're one of the few honored people. 2 weeks in a row, he's been at 2 different locations.
Wow.
And last week I thought it was tough getting people out.
Yeah.
Because the snowing earlier in the day. This snow hasn't stopped.
No, all day. I was driving in it all day, too.
I know. We
could
don't
be
know
fun.
what secret agent or job you have, but we're not going to discuss that. I know you're out and about. I've seen him.
That's right. In his neck of the woods every day.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's everywhere.
Except for Monroeville. I don't hang out in Monroeville much.
One of our fans has come in. What's going on and what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is I have a question for Jim. This deflate gate is really irritating me. Everybody says, the score, it didn't matter. The score was so. But I told Jim tonight, I heard on radio today that somebody had all the stats from every game that's Brady has played from beginning to end. And the percentage of fumbles on the New England Patriots is significantly lower than every team in the NFL
I
by a
posted,
ton.
I'll tell you, I was just telling a lady, a new fan of ours, Maureen, that you met, and Jim, new fans of ours, they can't wait to see this show, but I said wait a couple days.
Yeah.
So I told them that story. I said I was reading through it, and I even posted on Pittsburgh Sportsline that a deflated football is easier to carry. Now, some of the stats, when you're 50% lower in fumbles, I think that's a significant number.
Absolutely.
And when you think about it, they're all, like I ranted last week, they're all cheating on something.
Yeah.
And until they get caught, they're as innocent as a baby. But these stats, it makes you wonder, with Goodell partying with Kraft, if it even matters. And
That's a sad
to
point.
me, that's an important thing. If you're going to have a football with, 13 point some pounds, and there's a little variance there, just like your tire, with this weather, maybe you lost a couple percentages of air, just with the thing.
Yeah.
Football is significant.
Yeah. And every quarterback has been coming out, some of the stars, and even the wide receivers, Jerry Rice, said that, a quarterback knows the feel of the football. That's his job. That's his job. I believe it. They know. You can't tell me, well, yeah, it didn't feel any different to him because he's probably been playing like that for a long time. Right?
Well,
That doesn't feel any different.
here's why. And a quote from 3 years ago, I like a ball that's less deflated.
Yeah.
That was his quote.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that to people publicly, and now you get caught publicly,
Yeah.
I guess you're not going back to what you said. You could say whatever you want, because the greatest interview is when Belichick says his interview. Now all these people go, why is he like that? I said, haven't you ever watched an interview? He's the same. He lies like crazy, gives a monotone to you, and is disrespectful to everybody else.
Yeah, they're afraid to ask him the real questions because he embarrasses them. So
Yeah.
he's got it made when he has.
Wait, I need to go up against him. Put me in there.
There's a
I'll
thought.
take the challenge.
There's a
There
thought.
isn't a problem. We could debate all of that stuff, because I even posted up Bill Nye, the science
That's
guy.
right. He's involved now,
I
too.
posted it because
Yeah.
I used to watch that with my kids growing up, Casey and Drew. and we saw Bill Nye the Science Guy. He was right more than Smoking Jim is on his bet the house. Definitely. Bill Nye the Science Guy says he doesn't know what he's talking about, Belichick.
Yeah. You got to have respect for Bill. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Bill Nye. He's the guy.
He's the guy. He's the science guy.
Yeah. What else is going on? Who do you like to win the Super Bowl?
Who do I want and who do I like is the same thing. I
Well,
would
that's
like.
why I'm asking.
I
I
would
knew
like
you-
Seattle to win, and I want Blunt to fumble. That's all I'm asking.
You're not praying or lighting any candles, are you?
Well, I have this little doll. It's kind of soft and has pins.
I sort of knew you would. You know what I found out? Put it in your freezer. If you put it in your freezer with the pins, it'll affect them a little more.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. No
Yeah.
pun intended. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You got it.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
intended.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's all I want. I want them to really tear them apart, and I want Blunt to fumble. That's the way I want the season to end.
You're a true Steeler fan.
Yeah.
And so far, you're with me and Smoking Jim. We're looking at Seattle. We
Yeah.
got one guy. We'll bring him up right after you. I'll let him speak for himself.
I'm afraid to hear what he has to say.
You'll find out
I
as
do,
he sees it.
I do have one question for everybody out there.
Okay.
With all the gas prices going down as dramatically as they have,
Yes.
what's everybody doing with their extra money?
I'm spending it at Atria's PNC Park on a Taco Machine Big Mouth Burger
Well, that too, but
and a slab of ribs at Duke's Rib House and Grill.
even better though, what tank is more important than your gas tank?
Well, I got 12 cups of green tea I drink a day.
Well, there's something even better than that. Take the money and buy something good for you. Put some good juice in your body. Drink 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, and it's money that you had been spending on gas over the last few years. That's what I say.
Wow. You know, that's so profound. You better take this home and chug a little more.
Yes, I will.
Put some vodka with that. It's pretty good. That's
Thank you,
great.
guys.
Good luck to you.
All right, go Seahawks.
Thanks for coming to the show. Rarely do we bring a guest back, but can you get a close-up of Chris?
No resemblance.
How old were you then?
I was 18.
I see the nose.
I got my Chachi hairdo going on, right?
That's what I thought it was.
I gotta take a close up of that.
my Chachi hairdo.
Oh, did it go out?
That was one of the guys in the gym just sent me a text. It was put on a poster.
Did you get that, Zach?
It was on a poster.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Carrick High School for 9th and 10th, and St. Marcel 11th and 12th.
Wow.
So,
I was
You
at
were-
KO right across the street.
oh yeah.
So you heard
Same,
of Rich Ingold, huh?
Oh yeah, Richie Engel, Nick Merrick, Gattuso, Greg
Yeah,
Gattuso.
there's some
My
great
brother
names.
played with him in 1980, where Donahue was
Yeah,
the coach,
coach.
and they won the states
State championship,
against Knock.
My
Yeah.
my dad was good friends with Donahoe.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Wait,
the
thanks,
second
Dave.
visit.
Sorry, guys.
Let me see.
Let him see
the
that.
picture. Let's see that picture, man.
He can't believe it. He doesn't believe people were younger. He thinks I was always this way I look now.
Movie star good looks, man.
Yeah, Chachi. You look good, Chach.
Good job.
With no further ado, it's Z time. Here he comes. Our co-host made it in. Zach Brenner, we saved the best for last, although you got a lot of tough competition.
Tough competition, man. There's a great crowd here tonight at Duke's Rib House and Grill.
No, we're not lying about that. A lot of cancellations. People were afraid of the weather.
Yeah, you see, I'm here, folks. You know, dedicated to the team. I'm a team player. Wink, wink.
Pittsburgh Sport.
I had to throw that in there, man.
I have a question. The wink wink doesn't give you any credibility. It's like that's not true. That's why we're winking. So now he must be a double agent. I'm going to have my spies check out his spies. All right, what's on your mind, Zach?
Well, a couple things. Got to get through the business. I give a shout out to Stevie Upshur on his 30th birthday. He's a big fan of the show. Always supported me and everything I do. So I wanted to give a happy birthday shout out
And
to
he's
Stevie
called
Upshur.
into Pittsburgh Sports Line when we're live which it's rare to get a phone call and somebody as articulate as that young man who just turned 30.
Well, as Smoking Jim could allude to, not everybody is created the same. But the Upshur Chambers boys, those are two good kids. They've always been, Eddie and Stevie, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them and Buzz Garnick up there at Second Round Gym, Cal UPA. Give a shout out to those boys.
Anybody else you want to shout out? Maybe you saw it. Ivy Pittsburgh.
I missed it.
How did you miss that?
Some of us got to work, and
Are you serious?
yeah, I had to work, and I didn't have anything left in the tank. I should have drank some of Mario's juice.
What'd you do with that case you bought last week off of him?
Passed
I saw
it
him
out.
negotiating.
Passed it out to my guys.
All right. That's why they don't work much anymore.
Since we have the NFL scout, I want to also give a shout out to new San Francisco 49ers head coach Jim Tamsula, Homestead native and Still Valley alum. Us Still Valley boys, we stick together. I know you Gateway and KO guys always want to give a shout out to an
I'm not
NFL
with
coach,
him.
but eventually, maybe one
I
day,
would've.
if you dream big, you might get a coach
Yeah,
to
but-
come from one of your communities. But unfortunately, it's Still
But
Valley.
I would have. The sign was ready to fall. Unlike you, I didn't wink. I saved Pittsburgh Sportsline. It was going to fall like it did last time here when people sabotaged
it says
it.
Al Levine, the talking machine.
Well, that's thanks to Bob Crescent, who got the sign for us
Who?
for being there. Bob
It
Crescent.
doesn't matter who Bob Crescent is, because last night I was watching wrestling, folks. We never talk studio wrestling on this show. Trapper Tom gets upset when he's at home watching the show by the fire. But last night there was the Royal Rumble.
He has an open invite.
It took place in
Who won?
Philadelphia, PA. Some guy I don't even know. But the whole point is that it was a lackluster event until The Rock showed up at the end and came in and saved it. Then
Really?
the whole place went
I heard
crazy.
it. I heard that.
Because
The
I
most
watched it last
electrifying-
week 'cause we were off last Monday, and they had Ric Flair and those guys on. So I was.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is a cheapskate. He has a way of bringing all these guys back before WrestleMania. That's how he does, and then the rest of the year, it's not even worth
Since
watching.
we're talking Ric Flair and everything, Dan Bogan's always telling Jim Auger he's the nature boy and everything else. And I did talk to Jim Auger, and I purposely held it to Z time because I know he loves watching Z time. We hit a new world record on Pittsburgh Sportsline. 4,092 likes when I left the house 4 hours ago. So there it is, Jim Auger. I almost forgot it again, but I figured it'd be great with Z time.
You kind of got me going there. I thought you were going to say Jim Auger's been watching the show and he loves my work. So but I'm just every bit as excited for
Hold it.
the all-time
Hold
new
it.
highlights.
Wink, wink. Jim Auger loves the show, watches the show. He thinks the most of Big Z. He calls him Big Z. I said he's Little Z. He's not with the program.
Hey,
And that's our MMA expert.
we got bad news to report, though. Justin Steve, who was a guest on the show on Wednesday night, the first ever Wednesday night show at Atchis at Pansy Park, lost a decision in Williamsport on Saturday. But on the positive side, the Honey Badger on Friday night choked out his opponent down in West Virginia. So shout out to Don Mazzata and all those boys.
Another guest of the show.
Dempsey's getting ready to fight for the UFC here coming up. So give a shout out to Dempsey and the Mat Factory and all the local MMA boys. I can't wait to get to a Pinnacle or Gladiators at the Cage 16. Smoking Jim Frazier and I weren't able to make it to Williamsport. I tried my hardest. I know Jim did too, but I just couldn't make it. I didn't have anything left.
Where
so
was my chauffeur at?
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't muster it up. Like I said, I need some of Mario's special juice to keep me going late on in the day because I didn't make it to Williamsport or Stevie's surprise birthday party at Avi. But hey, the show goes on, and at least I made it here, though.
I'm thankful you did. I don't know how you made it all the way from downtown
Hold
Monmouth.
on, Bill Boyce is about to take a picture.
No,
No,
he's
he's
not. You're out
Sorry.
of your mind.
Sorry,
tonight.
folks.
You know what? When you work outside, there's like a brain freeze. It's a real brain freeze. You know, I'm noticing that. There's a change in your personality here.
It's no joke.
Whoa. I got 4,094 likes. Devin Shea took a moment from his busy schedule on the cameras and the soundboard and the wires and watching the tape fall off of the sign.
Well, what happened was I hit the like button, then I hit the unlike button, then I hit the like button.
We'll take it. You know, some people just hit the unlike button, and then another day or two they come back. I think they like this.
I'm sure Smoking Jim last night was catching up on the NHL All-Star Game. Is there any insight that you could give us on either? We can give you a bailout. If you could tell us about the Pro Bowl, then it doesn't matter what happened in the NHL All-Star Game.
The NHL All-Star Game, I really thought it's the first time I was ever disappointed with hockey. I thought that they played too soft.
You saw it for once?
Fake fighting, the whole bit. You know, it was
in the game.
In the game,
They don't even fight.
It was really.
This must be your first time.
Yeah, if you're not going to play hockey the way it's meant to be played, then scrap the game. That was the first time I was ever disappointed with hockey.
And that's the first so-called time he ever watched the All-Star Game. Because I said, I don't watch a lot of that stuff. I like watching the hardest shot and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like
So
that
then,
too.
what insight could you offer into the Pro Bowl then, NFL scout?
Well, the main thing
He's
with
still
the Pro
watching
Bowl,
film on it.
Well, main thing with the Pro Bowl is that just make sure that our Pittsburgh Steelers players didn't get hurt. So that was a positive thing. I think it is crazy in the Pro Bowl that you can have players. There's no AFC, NFC, so now you can have players,
Teammates playing against each other.
Thanks for filling in the gap.
I think when somebody gets hurt one of their teammates, I think they'll scrap that idea.
You know, my feeling on the Pro Bowl, Smoking Jim,
But
is
congratulations to Lawrence Timmons for being the last player picked.
that's always a positive 94. But my feeling on the Pro Bowl and all these things, Smoking Jim, is that there shouldn't be like a regulation game. We should have like skills competitions or contests or something like that. Like see who could throw the most footballs 50 yards down through the football, or who could go the fast. Yeah, we should do something like that because really, you're not really getting the authenticity of the game. There's no defense. You can't rush the passer. Can't touch the quarterback. Can't do this. Can't do that. You know, but you can spike the ball over the field goal post without getting flagged.
Well, here's what I'd like to tell
And
you
he
guys.
played wide receiver. He had to get more money.
That's what he wants.
Here's
What about the CBA?
Here's the only, forget the CBA right now. There's only one All-Star game that they should play in professional sports, and it's baseball. That's the only one that they should play for the simple fact they can play a regular game.
Let's play two.
He died.
Yeah.
God bless Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks.
I'm sorry about that.
Mr. Cub.
Mr. Steeler. Good. Mr. Steeler bringing Ernie Banks. You know I was friends with Ernie Banks on Facebook?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so definitely. Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to steal
That wasn't from my era, so shout out to Ernie Banks. R.I.P. brother, I heard you did your thing, but that was way before my time.
Yeah.
That Mr. Cub did his thing, you know. The Cubs have been terrible for a while since that guy reached out and snagged the ball during the playoff
really
game.
Buckner. Oh, yeah. And that too. And then Buckner missing that play at first base.
Yeah, you know how I was talking about the kid with
Yeah, I
the
know.
guy.
Wow.
That was
People
a
get
snafu.
ugly like that. Imagine what would happen here at PNC Park if that happened.
Hey, Chip the Prophet
Who?
Hayner's been
you
saying the
talking about?
Pirates are going to win the pennant for the last 20 years. So, you know,
He's only said it the last couple
he keeps
times.
watching that movie, Angels in the Outfield.
I like it. It's actually an inspirational movie.
It is, but it's not going to happen for the Pirates, and there's no Angels in the outfield for the Pirates. Even though he says that we have all this talent and stuff like that, you know, the proof is in the pudding. We keep getting these wild card games. We can't get over the hump, you know. So now it's time to if you're as good as you say you are.
Forget the Buccos. What do you think about baseball as the only All-Star game? The other ones,
I
maybe
agree.
come up with an
I
idea
agree.
like you have.
I agree.
Because even in hockey, like I'll try to watch the game there. I can't watch it. In basketball,
I like that. I like their All-Star.
Well,
Jeez.
wouldn't you say it was easier to watch the hockey All-Star game though when it was like Gretzky and Lemieux and there was like all these greats?
Always easy to watch Gretzky.
You notice how
I
Lemieux.
enjoyed more watching Lemieux. Gretzky, I thought he just had a great supporting cast and he had skills,
Devin didn't catch that.
Well, he's busy right now. He's researching some statistics for us.
Gretzky's the greatest, buddy.
No, he's not.
He just threw up in his mouth up there.
Yeah.
He can't talk.
Yeah, you're crazy, Smokey Jim. And one of these days, you're gonna say that somewhere, man, where I'm gonna have to disavow ever knowing you.
Why? He saved the game of hockey.
No,
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Not him.
No,
Gretzky did. He's Babe
No.
Ruth of hockey.
no.
No.
You don't give
Everybody's
Lemieux enough credit. You don't give Lemieux enough credit.
Lemieux is great.
You can't
But
say
He
wasn't
he's
the
did.
great.
He
greatest.
did it with less. He did it with less. He did it with less talent. He did it with
No talent.
He did it with cancer, Smokey Jim. He recovered from cancer and came back. He's the only player to ever
Congratulations.
have multiple successful comebacks. You know, people forget he came back and played with Sid the Kid.
Who's
Then
the,
he let him live with him.
Yeah, he did.
there's a lot of great boxers, but there can only be one greatest. Just like there can only be one greatest in basketball, one greatest in hockey. That's not taking anything away from Mario.
If you're gonna go that
Mario.
route, who's the greatest all time in basketball then?
Wilt
Greatest.
Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain.
Shit.
You agree?
Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument for Bill Russell for the Celtics and all the
I
championships
take
and
the
all the.
20,000 women.
I take the
was only
100. I take
10,000.
the 100 points in a game
Yeah.
because that to
Yeah,
me is
yeah.
impressive to score 100 points in a game. That's not something that's ever going to be done in this day
And he
and
could
age.
play any sport. He was an athlete.
Yeah,
he just
he was.
wasn't a one-trick
was.
pony. Wasn't he a like superstar at volleyball and everything
Volleyball, he did gymnastics. He was a world-class 400-meter man.
too? Weightlifting.
Yeah, weightlifting. And
He was
was a-
unreal.
He was good with the ladies.
yeah. And well, one year I think he would average 50 points
That's
a
what he
game
said.
and 30 rebounds or something like that for
It
a
was
season.
it was huge.
And they changed rules to try to slow him down.
I know what
That's
that's
why
like.
yeah.
And he still, and then you know what the funny part
He
about
still
it is, because
did
I
it.
know enough about it, that when they changed the rules and said that he held the ball too much and scored too many points, then he started to lead the league in assists.
Yeah,
and he started to pass the
that's
ball.
good, that's
He started
good.
to pass the ball around because
I
it got
remember
on.
that.
You don't know Ernie Banks, but you know Will. Your phone is good, bro.
That was
phone
it.
is off.
His phone is off. It's as dead as mine. Look.
That's just knowledge, man. That's GP. That's that knowledge you get from Cal U General Studies. Shout out to the Vulcans.
What is it? It's crazy. Jeez.
As we wrap
we're
it up
having
in the
too
snow.
much. We're having too much fun.
but,
You two are agreeing, so I'm ready. Go ahead and talk.
But how about a little McCarthy's brother passed?
Lawyer.
And that was,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
47
R.I.P.
years
to
old.
McCarthy's brother, and how about R.I.P. to
McCarthy.
the R.I.P. to the little guy that came
Joey.
out, another Joey that
Yeah.
we lost that came out to BPTV and to the police station and was a cop for a day. That's a great video
Boy, he
that
had a great smile
BPTV
on
made.
that kid.
You
Yeah,
know,
he did.
it's
Well, a lot of sad things that are out there, but you see a community coming behind and backing people and showing great support, even on Duke's Rib House and Grill. We'll be back in 2 weeks. They were honoring Joey here, so everybody is throughout Pittsburgh
I thought it
on.
was our waitress that was on.
Joey's our waitress. The little boy's different. All right, we're gonna have to end this show. We're just about done. Smoking Jim Frazier, Zach Brenner, thanks for coming out. Devin Shea, Zach, I don't know your last name on the camera. He's a mystery man. He's doing great. He's trying to make me look better, Zach. Look, I'm looking at the right camera now. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate Bethel Park letting us out on BPTV Studios on a cold and snowy night like this. We'll be back at Atria's PNC Park for Groundhog Day, Monday the 2nd. Come on out to PNC Park. Groundhog Day. That's true, Devin. Check that up on your Google. Good night, everybody. Drive safely and watch what you're shoveling out there. Call Brenner Contracting. Good night.